Alright, subtracting can be confusing when working with negative numbers, like 7 minus 2, or negative 3 minus 5. They look difficult. However, subtracting is the same as adding the opposite. So if you had 7 minus 3, that's the same. We just take that negative and turn it into a positive. So we have 7 plus, but we changed that 3 to a negative 3. And then we just use the rules from before. The rules from before said that if I had opposites, then I subtract them. So I'm going to get 4, but since this was 7's larger than 3, the absolute value of 7 is larger than the absolute value of 3, then I have a positive number. Okay, so we're just going to take our subtract and turn it into add the opposite. So since 3 right there it doesn't have it's not a parentheses, so it's really a positive.
Okay.
So if I had that negative 3 minus 5, I'm going to change that to be add the opposite. So I'm going to keep the negative 3. I'm going to add the opposite of that negative 5 is just a 5. So what we kind of did is just we made that a negative 5. We're going to add the opposite. Okay.
Right.
So that was a positive 5. We're adding the opposite. So then I have 2 negatives. Mm-hmm. So do I add them or subtract them?
You add them.
Okay, so I'll have 8. And will it be a negative or positive when I'm done?
It'll be a negative.
Very good, because they're both negative. Okay? All right. And so that's how we're going to do it. And so before we do this big long example, let's do some over here. Okay? So if I had negative 9 minus a negative 2, because we haven't done a negative. So I'm going to take that negative 9 and rewrite it. I'm going to change that to an add. I'm going to add the opposite. What's the opposite of the negative 2?
Positive.
A positive 2. And so now I'm taking negative 9 plus 2. Do I add those two numbers or subtract those two numbers?
Subtract.
So 9 and 2 make?
7.
And is it negative or positive?
Negative.
Because?
Because the larger one is negative.
Very good. Okay. Let's do right here. 3 minus a negative 3. So I'm going to take that 3. I'm going to add the opposite of the negative 3, which is?
3.
Okay. So 3 plus 3 is?
6.
6. Okay. The last time we did the number lines, and we said we went left and right. If I'm at 3, and I'm going to, this means go to the left, and this means go opposite. So that means I'm going to go opposite of the left, which is the right. That's why I went 1, 2, 3, and that's how I got to 6.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's what that negative means. Go to the left and go opposite. So I'm going to really go to the right. Okay?
Okay.
So now let's do this long one. I have negative 8 minus a negative 5 plus a positive 2 minus 6. Okay? And sometimes what I like to do, instead of just having this opposite, instead of rewriting it, when you have a negative, you can just do like this. You can just make that a positive. Okay, so then that's really negative 8 plus 5. Okay? And so when we have a negative 8 plus 5, what is negative 8 plus 5?
Oh, wait, we're adding now and not subtracting?
Yes, we are. We are, because this was now turned into a plus, even though my handwriting looks terrible right there. Turned into a plus.
Oh,
and so we have a
so
negative
13.
5. Now,
oh, but you subtract.
yes, because they're opposite signs.
It's negative 3.
Very good. And I bring everything down now so I don't forget anything. And it's because as long as you know that this negative or this minus stays with the 6, you could do that one or this one because of that associative thing. Okay. So I guess we could do that one. Negative 3.
1.
Good job.
So negative 1 minus 6 would be 7, right?
So you do the opposite. So we have negative 1 plus negative 6, because we add the opposite. And so now I have 2 negatives.
Oh, so it'd be negative 7.
Yes. Very good. And that's what they got.
Right?
All right. And so all you're going to do is you're just going to make sure that if you're subtracting, you're going to add the opposite.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. We're done.
Awesome.